Good evening. Senator Daschle, Ambassador Mitchell, members of the NDI board, distinguished honorees and guests, dear friends, good evening. On behalf of my entire family, including my Aunt Kathy, my Uncle John and his wife Pam, my husband Greg, and our son David, who are all here tonight, we want to thank NDI for celebrating my mother and honoring those who are carrying forward her devotion to the cause of democracy. Mom just loved NDI, and she cherished her nearly 40-year association with this marvelous organization. In our family, we still remember her excitement about becoming NDI's founding vice chair in 1983. It was a time when she was finding her voice, beginning to emerge as a force in democratic politics and U.S. foreign policy. NDI opened up new horizons for Mom, enabling her to travel to the Middle East, to Africa, to the Far East, and Europe, where she observed elections, met with local activists, and got a ground-level view of civil society in action. One of her most rewarding experiences was leading an NDI delegation to her native Czechoslovakia in January 1990, just weeks after the Velvet Revolution. It was during that trip that she first met Václav Havel, who became a lifelong friend and a source of inspiration to her. She would return to Prague 5 months later with delegates from NDI and a group from IRI, led by its future chair, the wonderful Senator John McCain. It was another collaboration that turned into a long-term friendship. NDI gave my mother so many opportunities, and in return, she devoted her time and her boundless energy to helping it establish its identity, define its mission, and grow into one of the world's leading democracy organizations. My mother often said that if she could not have been the Secretary of State, the next best thing she could imagine was to become the chair of NDI. So, when she left government in 2001, it took her no time at all to say yes to the invitation to serve in that role. And over the past 20 years, we saw how immersed she became in the hard work of defending democracy and how committed she was to NDI's mission until her last breath. She saw the value in NDI because of her life's experiences and what they taught her, that the tides of freedom will always be opposed. And while she did not shy away from warning about the dangers of fascism, she also began arguing last year that democracy was poised for a comeback. Consider these words from her final essay in Foreign Affairs, which was published in October 2021. "Democracy has its faults," she wrote, "but so does every variety of despotism. Democracy's assets are superior, however, because they demand the best from everyone and are grounded in respect for human rights, individual freedom, and social responsibility. By contrast, dictators seek only obedience, and there is nothing inspiring about that." She concluded the essay in a hopeful note by saying, "Democracy is fragile, but it is also resilient. In every region, the generation coming of age is smart, outspoken, and fearless. So worldwide, people are demanding more. And while authoritarian leaders are tiring and running out of answers, although tattered and torn, freedom's flag is ready to rise." I know how much my mother is missed, but I also know what she would want us all to do right now, and that is to focus on the future and support those who are working to ensure that democratic forces regain the initiative. People such as the leaders we are honoring here tonight, who she deeply admired, and people across Ukraine who are fighting not only for their country, but also for the cause of freedom. I know how committed NDI is to this cause, and I know my mom would be so grateful that her dear friend Tom Daschle and all of her NDI board colleagues are for picking up the baton and carrying on the fight. So thank you again for honoring her this evening, but thank you even more for honoring her every day in the work you do and the values that you uphold. I know that she would be so proud. Thank you.